ईटा पीएसटी स्क्रीनिंग टेस्ट साउदर्न रीजन्स जो कि आज 26 अप्रैल 2025 को मुनक्किद हुआ है। MCQ नंबर 1, Benjamin Bloom developed a framework that categorizes educational goals into distinct areas. This classification is based on, and that is option B, hierarchical levels of learning objectives, which is the Bloom's taxonomy. Number 2. In which model is the teaching process divided into 4 components, each corresponding to a major sequence of events in the instructional process? And that is option C, Dick and Carey model. Number 3. Which type of testing is ongoing throughout the learning process, allowing teachers assesses both the effectiveness of their teaching methods and students' abilities? And that is option B, formative testing. Number 4. Which form of reflective reasoning involves analyzing and evaluating information and arguments using various intellectual skills to form clear, logical, and coherent judgments within a specific context? And that is option A, critical thinking. 5. From which two Greek words is the term philosophy derived? And that is option C, love and wisdom. 6. The philosophical concept that asserts things can be understood as they truly are is known as which of the following? And that is option B, realism. Number 7. What process involves thinking about learning material by linking it to existing information or ideas in the learner's mind? And that is option D, elaboration. 8. The equivalent fraction of 1 over 3 is, and that is option B, 3 over 9. 9. 102 meter per second in kilometer per hour is, and that is option A, 367.2 kilometer per hour. Number 10. The price of 5 candies and 3 chocolates is Rs 85. The linear equation in two variables for this situation will be, and that is option B, 5x plus 3y is equal to 85. 11. If the perimeter of the rectangle is 34 centimeter, as we increase its length by 2.5 centimeters, then there will be a difference of blank cm in its perimeter, and that is option B, 5. Number 12. Measure, well, it will be Measure of an exterior angle of any triangle is, well, इसको अगर आप चेक कर ले तो ये कोई स्पेसिफिक एंगल नहीं है। अच्छा, इस क्वेश्चन के लिए कमेंट सेक्शन चेक करें, अगर इसका जवाब मिल गया तो वहाँ ऐड हो जाएगा। नंबर 13. If the fare for 34 kilometer is Rs 190, what will be the fare for 48 kilometer? And that is option D, Rs 1680. Fare means किराया. Number 14. Find the cost of painting a cuboid container of length 4 meter, width 3.5 meter and height of 6 meter at the rate of Rs 43.78 per square meter. And that is option D, Rs 5166.04. 15. Ali gives the following percentage of his time to different subjects. He gives 10% time to Islam, 20% to science, 20% to English, 20% to mathematics, and 30% to remaining subjects. What is the angle of remaining subjects on the pie chart? And that is option A, 108 degree. Number 16. The mass of the bulb is 12 milligrams and the mass of a tube light is 25 grams. How much heavier is the tube light than the bulb? And that is option D, 24.988 grams. 17. The factorization of 2x cubed plus 16 is, and that is option C, 2 into x plus 2 into x square minus 2x plus 4. 18. If z1 is equal to 6 plus 3 iota and z2 is equal to 3 minus 5 iota, find z1, z2. And that is option D, 33 minus 21 iota. The cost of 1 rubber and 7 sharpeners are 61 rupees, while that of 3 rubbers and 1 sharpener are 23 rupees. What is the price of a sharpener? And that is option C, 820. Find an expression for the perimeter of a rectangle whose area is given by 2x square minus 7x minus 4. And that is option C, 6x minus 6. 21. If both sum and product of roots of the quadratic equation mx square minus 5x plus n is equal to 0 are equal to 10, then the values of m and n will be, and that is option A, 1 over 2 and 5. 22. If y varies jointly as x and z and y is equal to 33 when x is equal to 9 and z is equal to 12, find y when x is equal to 16 and z is equal to 22. And that is option A, 968 over 9. 23. An arc of length 2.5 centimeters of a circle subtends an angle of theta at the center O of diameter 5 centimeter. The value of theta is, and that is 0.833 radian. 24. Which one of the following is not the characteristic of gases? वेल इसमें डिफरेंट ऑप्शन बताए जा रहे हैं, लेकिन आई थिंक ऑप्शन सी है इसमें, गैस मॉलिक्यूल मूव इन स्ट्रेट लाइन। इसे भी आप चेक कर लें। 25. Friendly bacteria live in our large intestine. Identify the vitamin they make for us, and that is vitamin K, which helps in blood clotting. Kwashiorkor and marasmus are diseases caused by deficiency of which one of the following diet, and that is option C, protein. 27. Amoeba and paramecium live in water and are unicellular. They are included in kingdom, and that is B, Protesta. 28. Mammals are those animals that give birth to their young ones and feed them on milk. Which one of the following is not a mammal? That is option D, Ascaris. 29. Which one of the following statement is not true regarding asexual reproduction? And that is option B, it is a slow process, which is obviously not. 30. Almost half of the body weight is due to muscles. The number of muscles present in human body are, and that is option C, 600. 31. The laws made by legislature is implemented by, and that is option A, executive. 32. Which civilizations flourished in Mesopotamia? And that is option C. Well, sorry for the pronunciation, but it may be Sumerian or Sumerian, Assyrian, Babylonian. 33. What did the pharaohs of Egypt believe about life after death? Well, इसमें भी confusion है. Some said that they would become gods, option C, and the other D. Well, they were already gods. Well, the correct option would be they would return to rule again. 34. What leads to the creation of a new language? Option B, blending of different words from different language. 35. Where is Sardar Nishtar buried? And that is option C, in the vicinity of Mazar-e-Qaid, Karachi. 36. A state is made up of blank basic elements. It is 4. 37. Who was the founder of the first centralized government over the Indian subcontinent that included Gandhar? And that is option D, Chandragupta Maurya. 38. Which social system did Jainism oppose? And that is option B, caste system. वेल नेक्स्ट जो है वो दिख नहीं रहा, बट इसमें किसी ने बताया कि ये यहाँ पर विच ब्रिटिश ऑफिशियल हैड स्ट्रेट रिलेशंस विद द मुगल किंग अकबर। अगर किसी ने टेस्ट दिया है तो उसे मालूम होगा। अच्छा, ये कमेंट्स में ऐड हो जाएंगे अगर बाद में पता चल गया। 40. On which day did General Pervez Musharraf assume the position of Chief Executive of Pakistan after overthrowing Nawaz Sharif's government? And that is option D, October 12, 1999. 41. What farm did Waris Shah use to write Heer Ranjha? And that is option D, Masnavi. 42. Why did Hindus oppose the Urdu language in Banaras? And that is option C, it had Persian Arabic script. 43. Which key element is not mentioned by Jinnah as part of Muslim identity? And that is option B, armed forces. 44. Qaid-e-Azam's speech on 15 June 1948 discouraged, and that is option C, provincial and racial prejudice. 45. Which of the following best represents the connotative meaning of the word home? And that is option B, a place of comfort, safety, and love. 46. He was tired, so he went to bed early. Identify the conjunction. And that is option C, so. 47. Always homework, does, his, he. Rearrange the words to make complete the sentence. And that is option D. He always does his homework. 48. She blank finish the work by tomorrow. And that is option A. Will. 49. Find the silent letter in the word receipt. Well, it is pronounced as receipt, so obviously option B. P. The letter P is silent in receipt. 50. Sarah looked at blank in the mirror before leaving, and that is option C. Herself. Number 51. In which sentence is the comma correctly placed? And that is option D. After dinner we watched a movie. 52. Which sentence uses a comparative adjective correctly? And that is option A. She is taller than her sister. 53. Where was the first education conference held? And that is option B. Karachi. 54. In which years was Pakistan's first 5-year plan for education implemented? And that is option C. 1955 to 60. 55. Which of the following refers to a structured plan or framework for preparing a course of study or organizing students' experiences? And that is option D. Curriculum design. 56. वेल ये अरेबिक वर्ड है स्टार्ट में सही से दिख नहीं रहा, इसके लिए पिन कमेंट चेक करें. 57. हज़रत सऊद रज़ियल्लाहु तआला अन्हा का ताल्लुक़ किस ख़ानदान से था? एंड डेट इज़ ऑप्शन सी आमिर बिन लुवई. 58. ऐसी ज़मीन जिसे सैराब करने के लिए मेहनत की जाए उसकी फसल की ज़कात कितनी होती है? एंड डेट इज़ ऑप्शन सी 20वां हिस्सा. वेल नॉर्मल ज़मीनों का 10वां हिस्सा होता है और इनका 20वां. 59. सूरा अल-माइदा की आयत व इज़ा नदीतुम इलस्सला का दुरुस्त तर्जुमा मुंतखब करें, और ये है ऑप्शन ए, और जब तुम नमाज के लिए पुकारते हो. 60. इमाम अहमद बिन हम्बल रहमतुल्लाह अलैह को इल्म हासिल करने का सबसे ज़्यादा शौक किस शोबे में था? वेल इसमें बहुत से लोगों ने ऑप्शन ए फ़िक़्ह का करेक्ट किया है, लेकिन मैंने जितना इसको सर्च किया है ये है ऑप्शन सी हदीस. वो एक फ़िक़्ह के बानी है लेकिन उसका शौक जो था वो हदीस के शोबे में था, सबसे ज़्यादा शौक. 61. Which one of the following is herbivores? And that is option D, deer. 62. The first synthetic dye used movine was discovered in 1856 by teenage William Henry Parkin. He created this dye out of, and that is option A, coal tar. 63. Number of chromosomes is specific in each species. In frog, the number of chromosomes are, and that is option B, 26. 64. A porous and permeable body of rock or sediment through which groundwater flows are called, and it is option A, aquifers. 65. The product of frequency and time period is equal to, and that is option C, 1. 66. Blood cell is about 45% by volume of blood. Which one of the following statements is not true regarding blood cell? And that is option A, जो कि गलत है. Red blood cells are also called leukocytes. Well, red blood cells are called erythrocytes and white blood cells are called leukocytes. So option A is the correct option. 67. What type of service does a courier service provide? And that is option C, postal-like service. 68. Which sentence is the best example of a topic sentence? And that is option B. Dogs are loyal and helpful animals. 69. A blank of lions roared in the jungle. Choose the appropriate option, and that is option C, pride. 70. I went out with Sarah on Sunday. She looked confused. Identify the anaphoric reference. Well, option यहाँ पर नहीं दिख रहा है लेकिन anaphoric reference is she, और she इनमें से option D था. Well, first I think I है, B सारा है, C AY लास्ट में दिख रहा है वो Sunday है, और last one option D she. 71. An antonym for ferocity is, and it is option A, mildness. 72. I don't know where she went. Identify the noun class, and that is option B, where she went. 73. Which sentence contains a transitive verb, and that is option C, the boy threw the ball. while transitive verbs require object to receive an action. 74. Identify the sentence with an intransitive verb, and that is option C. A candle was glowing. Well, intransitive verb opposite है transitive का और इसमें object require नहीं होता. 75. A synonym for profusion is, and that is option A. Abundance. 76. Magnetic lines of force always form, and that is option B. Closed loop. 77. The system international unit SI of resistance is ohm and represented by Greek letter omega. 1 ohm is equal to which one of the following? And that is option B. 1 volt per 1 ampere. 78. Milk contain protein called casein. When milk mixed with acid, casein molecule combine to form long chain product called, and that is option A. Casein plastic. 79. If the initial mass of the star is between 1 to 5 times of the solar mass, the red giant become, and that is option A. White dwarf. 80. Rock candy is an example of which one of the following type of solution? And that is option C. Crystallization of supersaturated solution. 81. A silver object get a black coating over time when they are exposed to air. This is due to traces of which one of the following in the air, and that is option B. Hydrogen sulfide. 82. Innate immunity has two components, first line of defense and second line of defense. Which one of the following is not second line of defense? And that is option A. Mucus, which is first line of defense. 83. 79 less than 6 times the number is equal to the number. The algebraic expression for the above statement is, and that is option B. 6x minus 79 is equal to x. 84. The length of one side of a cube is 4 meters. The surface area of the cube will be, and that is option A. 96 meters square. 85. Average weight of 4 boys is 24 kg. If the weight of another boy is also included, their average weight becomes 24.6 kg. Find the weight of the fifth boy, and that is option B. 27 kg. 86. The total surface area of a cylinder whose height is 12.4 cm and radius is 2.1 cm will be, and that is option A. 191.226 cm square. 87. 2x cube minus 5x cube y plus 5xy square minus 3y cube. Divide 2x minus 3y is equal to, and that is option D. X square minus xy plus y square. 88. Minus 4a square whole cube is equal to, and that is option C. Minus 64 a raised to the power 6. 89. What is the seventh term of the sequence having an is equal to 3n plus 5? And that is option C. 26. 90. A shopkeeper bought a book for Rs 560 and sold it for Rs 600. Find his profit percent, and that is option A. 7.14%. 91. What is the value of x in the simultaneous equation 7x minus 4y is equal to 10 and 2x plus 3y is equal to 65? And that is option A. 10. 92. He decided one day that blank things had to be changed. Choose the appropriate article, and that is option A. The. 93. Choose the adverb of manner in the following, and that is option D. Quickly. 94. The frog hurt itself while playing. The underlined word is a or the underlined word is an, and that is option D. Reflexive pronoun. 95. She gave me a book. Change the voice, and that is option D. A book was given to me by her. 96. He said I am feeling tired. Change the narration, and that is option A. He said that he was feeling tired. वेल बाकी लास्ट पेज पर बाकी 4 MCQ हैं लेकिन वो नहीं मिला, उनके लिए पिन कमेंट चेक करें, वहाँ मिल जाएंगे अगर मिल गए।